You're about to see the most impactful players changing teams whose signings haven't gotten anything close to the media coverage of the big-time free agents, whether they were extremely cheap for their talent or if they put the teams they're joining over the top. These are the 10 most underrated free agent pickups of the 2019 NBA offseason. First, a shout out to Matthew Ullman, who says there's nothing to hype up with the Clippers because their talent is legitimate and guarantees a 2020 Clippers ring. It should definitely be scary, but for next video's shout out and yearly rewards, stay tuned for tonight's question and comment your take. Seth Curry in 2016-17 had an elite shooting season with the Mavericks, which proved he belonged in the NBA. After missing 17-18 with a tibia injury, this past season he finished third in the NBA in three-point percentage with the Blazers. Now for just $8 million a season, he returns for his second stint with Dallas, where the Mavs ranked 27th in three-point percentage at just 34%. The third man in his family to make a living off the deep-range shot, has a career percentage of an astounding 45%. Curry's a perfect fit catching and shooting next to the Mavs' young talent, specifically Luka Doncic, so this is a low-risk, high-reward move with his low cap hit. For a future Phoenix Suns winning culture, Ricky Rubio was the perfect signing. At 28, he's 18th all-time in assists, 5th among active players, and 2nd among active players in steals as well. His value's overlooked because he struggles to keep a consistent jumper, but he's a proven elite playmaker. Devin Booker now has less dribbling responsibility, and the passes in the post and off pick and rolls for DeAndre Ayton become much easier to catch than in his rookie year. And when you talk about his best qualities, you never talk about his defense, but he's a completely overlooked defender. Last season, he ranked third behind lockdown guards Russell Westbrook and Eric Bledsoe in defensive rating. Malcolm Brogdon's historic 50-40-90 season puts him in extremely rare company and could prove his future stardom, joining Larry Bird, Mark Price, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Malcolm Brogdon became the 8th player ever to make 50% of his field goals, 40% of his threes, and 90% of his free throws. He averaged nearly 16 points a game on an elite Bucks team where he only shot 12 attempts a game. But moving to an Indiana team where he's a top scoring option, that's the perfect step for Brogdon's career and also an impressive Pacer acquisition. A signing that passed you by if you're not a Raptors fan is probably because Matt Thomas isn't a name you'd think was a sneaky elite pickup. However, be prepared for the man who had an effective field goal percentage of 82% on catch-and-shoot jumpers, including 99% when he was left wide open. Not only will that shot be of extreme value to the 2019 champs in 2020, but Thomas's off-the-dribble shot-creating ability will significantly help Toronto, especially now that they're Kawhi-less. Quinn Cook's 42% career three-pointer will be a big-time bench weapon for the LA Lakers. He played just 14 minutes a game last year with the Warriors, and throughout his tenure on a stacked Warriors roster, he was overlooked and had a lack of responsibility. Now LeBron and AD are relying on him to provide a chunk of scoring every night, and on a thin Lakers team, he'll average a career high in minutes for sure. And entering his prime at age 26, consistently playing and being counted on, is the exact spot the talented creating guard Quinn Cook wants to be in. On a veteran's minimum contract, Golden State gets a more talented version of what JaVale McGee was for them from 2016 to 18. Coming off his rookie contract in Sacktown, Willie CauleyStein's combination of athleticism and length is matched by very few big men in the NBA. That's allowed him to become an elite lob finisher in pick and rolls. And the Kings with Bagley and Giles couldn't make a major investment to Willie, so the savvy Warriors front office gets him for the very least amount possible. Classic Golden State move. CauleyStein's a perfect fit in Steve Kerr's system. To a growing Bulls team, the former Wizard Thomas Satoransky brings a much-needed elite basketball IQ and the ability to play 3 positions. Traded and signed to Chicago in return for Thaddeus Young, In 2018-19, Thomas was ranked 5th among shooting guards in real plus-minus, but given his play as the starter with Wall's injury, in Chicago, he'll have the opportunity to win the starting point guard position. Entering his 4th season, having developed his production every year since he's been in the league, the Bulls add a 48.5% shooter from the field last season, a solid playmaker, and a player who can really help out the Bulls' young guards. Three-point sniper Bogdan Bogdanovich is coming off a career high in points, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, rebounds, and assists. Quite a career year. Also scoring 20-plus points in a career-high 32 games. His 6'8", 216-pound frame at the small forward position allows him to physically compete with the top scorers in the league. As much as Jazz fans love Joe Ingles, being a backup is definitely the right fit for him in the NBA. Back in 2018's first round, we saw their new starting small forward, Bogdanovich, be an extremely solid LeBron defender in a series Indiana nearly won in 7 games. In Utah, though, he'll surely be back in the postseason, and next to Donovan Mitchell, with his off-ball shooting ability, he's the perfect fit. Early in the redemption year for the former MVP Derrick Rose, his scoring off the Wolves bench made him the 6th Man of the Year favorite. It seemed like he was about to get a massive contract from someone. His play didn't tail off from the beginning of the year, but of course his injury history is going to make it very tough for him to ever be considered anything close to a max player again. So the Pistons, with one injury-plagued star already in Blake Griffin, added Rose this offseason, but for only 2 years and $15 million. For Detroit, this is a flawless pickup not only for the low $7.5 million D Rose cap hit, but the fit this man is with the roster. Reggie Jackson needed help handling the ball. There simply wasn't enough depth at the point guard spot. Derrick Rose immediately solves that problem. Honorable mentions to veteran shooting wing Garrett Temple going to the Nets, Enes Kanter getting signed for only $5 million a year over 2 years in Boston. He's an elite post scorer, and Wesley Matthews going to the Bucks, who desperately needed some shooting. The Pelicans' new franchise player Zion Williamson is surrounded by a mix of young talents and veteran specialists, one of which is the 35-year-old shooting guard New Orleans stole from Philadelphia, J.J. Redick. And before you comment, Dflow, he's about to be 36. How does he make the list? This past year, he put up a career high in scoring while setting a single-season Sixers record for three-pointers with 270. When the 280-pound Zion Williamson is going through his defenders time after time, he'll get doubled and taken out of the game. And that's where JJ's floor spacing and deadly shooting becomes damn important. The shoutout question is, who's your most underrated free agent pickup in 2019? Check out my Nets and Clippers breakdown if you missed it. Subscribe if you're new and enjoyed. This was Dflow. Have a great day. See you next video.